One. Welcome everyone to the Wellness Committee sponsored by You Define Wellness. I'm Denise O'Malley, the founder of You Define Wellness, and this is our inaugural launch of this thing called a Wellness Committee. What we like to do is we have this vast network of really talented health and wellness professionals. And so we tap into their expertise by inviting them to play along with us, join us for conversations and discussion. And it's always informal and it's always fun. And joining me today, I have Julie Gullickson, who is the genius behind a new nonprofit organization called the Kindness Bank. We have Tanaz Bamboat, who is the owner of Laughter Yoga for You. And joining me today is also Tracy Frank, the owner of Jade Lemonaid. Ladies, thank you so much for being here today. What I'd like to do is I want to start off today by talking about what is a wellness committee. So, you know, some of you who are watching this video may serve on a wellness committee now. Some of you may have served in the past. You got recruited by your boss who said, guess what you're going to do? You get to serve on this committee. But what it is it's comprised of typically volunteers within an organization who represent a cross section of employee demographics, maybe a representative from every department or every tier level, from management down to entry level employees. And their job is to organize activities designed to build and support happy, healthy, and thriving employees. Now, the ultimate result is to meet the corporate wellness initiatives. And the corporate wellness initiatives are typically in place because the employer needs to increase productivity, maybe increase employee morale, maybe decreasing employee turnover or unhappy clients, and even medical insurance claims. So that gives us a little bit of a ground base to work off of. So ladies, I want to ask you this question. Have any of you served on a wellness committee in the past at your companies and where you may have worked? No, you haven't. I have. And forgive the barking dog. This is definitely work from home era. So I did many years ago. We needed to have a representative from our department that I worked in. And my boss turned to me and pretty much said, guess what you get to do? I wasn't joking when I said that earlier. I was like, okay, Denise, you're going to do this. And quite frankly, you know, it was like I remember the first meeting, we sat around a table and people who I didn't even know, I worked in a 2-story office building with about, I don't know, 350, 400 people who worked there. It was a processing center for an insurance company. And we just kind of looked at each other and said, okay, what do we want to do, guys? So, you know, we would choose some volunteer activities. My dog is going to drive me crazy. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. But we would do some volunteer activities. We formed a softball team because we found that there were a lot of people who wanted to play softball and the company would sponsor it and the t-shirts and all the expenses for it. We planned the company Christmas party. I mean, that was part of the wellness committee as well. And you know, so we did, and we brought in biometrics screenings for that as well. But you know, this was in the days before internet. So for us to find things to do, we were really racking our brains. So what I want to do today is I want to brainstorm on some ideas, some things that we can perhaps recommend out there for people to do. So Julie Gullickson, I know you worked for a really large employer out there. And what types of things would they do?
Well, most of it was the wellness was tied between the organization itself, and then it was programs that help identify directly with the employee, helped with wellness as well as execution. And then there was another component of initiatives that how we implemented organizational change in the community. So I did a lot of, I wasn't on a wellness committee, but I actually have extensive knowledge in community outreach. And so it came through strategic planning. So my wellness was that route.
Okay. You know, and the one thing I failed to mention, guys, is we're going to have a topic for each one of these. And this topic will be about mental health and self-care, which I think is really important right now, particularly as, companies are starting to open back up, and businesses are starting to open back up after the shutdown with COVID and the pandemic. And mental health and self-care is a real key feature of it. So Julie, you're the owner of Kindness Bank, which is a revolutionary nonprofit, and that really supports mental health activities and mental health and self-care through kindness. How, what kinds of things can you lend to, or suggest for the workplace from your perspective as the founder of Kindness Bank?
Well, I found that not only personally, but professionally, I was the most successful in any facet that I was in the organization when I made sure that I took care of myself first. I was the most effective as being a leader by example, as well as more relatable, and be able to not only translate my own mission, but the company's mission in a more relatable fashion. So I'd say about 20% of the day, I was the most successful if I did self-development or did good things, looked at positive psychology, looked at affirmations, talked to people about what brought them joy. That connectiveness really helped my focal point and my perspective. And it wasn't just work 100% of the day, that I was able to connect with myself so I could better connect with my team.
Yeah, and for those who say that they don't have the time or the money to exercise self-care activities, because I think that it's, that means that you got to go get a massage and you got to pay for it. The Kindness Bank is set up for health and wellness professionals to donate services as a deposit, and the individuals who need help can make a withdrawal of one of those services for their own self-care, correct?
Yes, and I found as somebody in corporate, especially at the level I was at, I wanted to design something that I think I could have used when I was at corporate. And I found it was hard to ask for help and stuff like that. And it's like, I wanted to create something that would bridge that gap in the corporate environment.
Right, right. Let's get everybody else in on the conversation with the foundation. Tracy Frank, I'm going to go to you. You're the owner of Jade Lemonaid. You've got a bunch of essential oils on the wall behind you there. So obviously you believe in mental health and self-care through the use of things like essential oils.
Yeah, and actually, I'll come back to the oils, but what I'm thinking of so far with just things that have been shared is I'm reflecting on when have I been involved with wellness work in the workplace, and I was a teacher, and I now support teachers. I work as a instructional coach as well, in addition to my Jade Lemonaid work. And in that, I've done things like set up a monthly challenge where you get points based on being involved in different, making it fun to be involved in wellness.
A game. You're turning it into a game.
Yes. Yep. And I'm also part of a group of women that do wellness events for teachers. And I did that a number of times this year. And we often don't think of schools as businesses, right? But the employees within schools also are constantly on. When you have 25, first graders in front of you, you can't just say, I need a little self-care break here. And so because of that nature of the work, where there's constantly your clients right in front of you, and lots of them, it's just really a huge need. And I think of all the things you said, like about a wellness committee and what they can do to support people, and they definitely, your list, Denise, of like people leaving the profession and feeling positive about their job. That's what I do as a coach, is trying to, support teachers to really feel good about what they do and set goals and all of that. So to me, this is kind of like, it's bringing it kind of full circle, because I often think of what's a quick fix. I think there's self-care, there's like setting aside a day for self-care. And I think that's really important, and companies can do those kinds of things. But there's also quick fixes that are healthy.
Right.
And we have plenty of quick fixes in our culture: sugar, alcohol, drugs. We have plenty of quick fixes that are out there, but what are the healthy quick fixes? And that's where I would say essential oils come in, is a quick sniff of a bottle. I've got this bottle right here. It's called Motivation Blend. A quick sniff of that can help me feel motivated at work. Or I have one that I actually used right before we started called Clarity. It helps with focus. And so that's kind of, I'm thinking, gosh, my brain is putting all these pieces together as I'm listening to the conversation. Well, this oil is in, I put it on this is a little diffuser pad that I can just drop it on. So I have other, diffusers you plug in, but this is one I can just have right at my desk. And, it just uplifts me personally for this conversation, but it's also a quick fix for employees, which I think we need quick fixes too. We need the big stuff, but we also need the quick fixes too.
And, that's a really good idea that we're going to be putting on the list, is have somebody come in and have Tracy come in and teach your staff, do it on a Zoom call, about the different essential oils and how you can get these quick fixes done during the day. Because sometimes, especially if, let's say we're on a phone call with somebody who's not too happy and they're frustrated and they're taken out, where if you have it in just a drop in the palm of your hand while you're on the phone, and suddenly you're going to be calmer. So learning about the essential oils and which ones are appropriate, and having an expert that you can bounce those ideas off of, that is a fantastic idea, Tracy. Thank you for sharing that one. Let's move over to Tanaz. Oh my gosh, this is the laughter coach, guys. We had her at our Taste of Wellness a month ago, who led us in a laughter yoga program. So Tanaz, I know you work a lot with groups and employer groups. How can, laughter, it seems like one of those fluffy things that a lot of corporate folks are not going to take seriously. Tell me why they should.
Actually, laughter is something so important in our lives right now, especially. And it is high time that all the corporates and workplaces take laughter seriously. The laughter in laughter yoga is not about the regular laughter that we think about. It's not the laughing at jokes or comedy. It's an exercise. And you can always, it's not necessary to be happy to do this. It's an exercise from the body. So we laugh from the body and not from the mind, because our mind is a monkey mind and we are all depressed right now, most of us. So this is something where we can bring that happy mood right away in the first session itself, because we laugh as an exercise and it is voluntary. And just because scientific facts have proven now, recently, laughter was taken like something frivolous for the workshop. People wanted to be serious. No. Now it's high time. We need to just relax and be resilient with our laughter. And the good thing is the laughter is within us. We were born to laugh. We were born to be happy. But what happens after we grow up, we stop laughing completely, I would say. As a child, we laugh 300 times a day as children. And a child starts laughing at the age of 3 months. So what does it prove? That it is within us. All we have to do is tap into it. And I teach people how to tap into your own laughter. So you don't need anything outside, and you can be happy yourself because it boosts happy chemicals. And the body doesn't know the difference whether you're laughing for real or we are just starting just voluntary and acting it out. Because if you act happy, the body, you will be happy. That's how it works now. So we start laughing from the body. So I show some exercises. And because we laugh nice and loud, we exhale longer. And when you exhale longer, you're getting more oxygen, more energy, more productivity, more creativity. And it's something, a blessing. And all you need to do is for 10 minutes every morning, or have a session throughout for just 10 minutes. And we laugh for no reason. But there are results. So if you want to be happy, because I myself had forgotten to laugh. And it was my depression that led me to this. So I'm too blessed to be depressed. And don't let anyone tell you that you have to live with mental disorders for your lifetime. No, I did it. It's a lot of hard work, but I can help, and you can bounce back, and that too only with laughter. So why not laugh? Free.
Absolutely.
It's free.
It's free.
Cost effective.
Hey,
No
employers,
side
it's
effects.
free.
No side effects.
Exactly.
You know, when
Exactly.
we have employers who are fighting a budget, because let's face it, wellness activities are not typically well funded by employers. This is something that you can do. And that's the whole point of this wellness committee that we're doing now on a monthly basis, is to introduce things that, yeah, there's some things that are going to cost some money, but there are also ideas that you can implement. And there are a lot of things you can do for free. And Tanaz, what I loved about what you said is we have had a ton of self-care videos that we have done. In fact, we did a day of self-care in January, the day before the inauguration, where we literally 8 hours, if not longer, of self-care activities. And a lot of them focused on one thing, and that was the breath work, to calm yourself down. And that's what laughter yoga is all about. I've explained it to people. It's not your yoga poses, it's the breath work of yoga, the healing breath work, and that
Right.
calms you down. And it's a fantastic self-care exercise.
And you don't have to concentrate just on taking a deep breath and breathe out. As we are laughing, we are doing it naturally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why not get all the benefits, the health benefits? Wow.
Yeah. So I want to move into getting some feedback and brainstorming ideas with you guys. And I'm going to share something here on, where is it? There it is. Okay. So one of the things that we do at Udefine Wellness, and we've done this now for years, is that we have the ability to do an employee wellness survey. And I'll tell you, when I talk to wellness committee members, they're like, oh, we survey our employees and nobody ever fills out the form, or only those people who are going to participate fill it out. Well, if a third party is doing it, we get more people who are filling it out, because they'll tell us things that they don't want to tell you. They don't want you to know what their answers are. So we have this employee wellness survey. We go into a lot of different areas. This is available to purchase a la carte from our store. But I'm going to give you a snapshot of some of the results. I've edited it out to take out a lot of the results. But, when we asked employees, this was a result of a construction company. So picture the demographics, if you would. It's a bunch of guys. I'm not trying to be sexist here. It's a construction company. It's typically a lot of guys, and a lot of younger guys too. And, we asked them the question, and then you have the administrative staff, and then you have the supervisors. But we asked them the questions, why are you not participating in, wellness activities outside of work, doing things on your own? And, time. Everybody says it's time, or they say it's money. And I will tell you, from my own opinion, it's never the time, it's never the money. Because if you want something badly enough, you're going to find the time, you're going to find the money, right? So we'll get past that one. But just know that, that's one of the things that we ask them. And some of them say, I just don't have any motivation or energy. That one I'll buy. Absolutely. But this was a construction company, and we asked them a variety. There's actually several pages on this. I just took the top 12 of outside of work activities and interests. And here's the reason why I do it. Employees, let me back up a step. I had an assistant one time, and she was late for a meeting and was like, what's going on? She says, hey, I've got to do something for my husband's company. I've got to watch this video. By watching the video, it gives us points that then will reduce our health insurance premium. It's like, great. What's the video about? She says, the benefits of eating kale. It's like, oh, how excited are you to be watching this video? She's like, I'm not. I hate this wellness program. Okay. So the point of it being is you want employees to do things enthusiastically, right? And so tying it to something that is related to what they want to do outside of work will get people to participate in the workplace, because they already have an interest in it. It's a really simple philosophy. But we asked the employees, pages of things that they might like to do, whether they would like to learn it, they like it already, but they don't do it often enough. or it's something that they do all the time. And with this construction company, no surprise, 100% of the employees like to go camping. Okay, great. But our focus here today is about mental health and self-care. So I want to look at this list a little bit and come up with some ideas of things that can be done for along the theme of mental health and self-care. And we're going to be using this, if you're watching this video, we're going to be using this snapshot in a lot of the videos that we do for the Wellness Committee. So one of the things, the number 3 on the list with 95, actually tied for number 2, 95.83% of the employees, it was walking. That's a really good self-care activity. But our job as experts is not to take the normal, it's to elevate the normal into something more interesting to do. So one idea that I came up with for this particular client was, okay, your staff wants to go walking. There were other results that showed that they wanted to learn meditation. They wanted to learn mindfulness. I'm not showing those on here. That was a completely different question that we asked them in terms of what types of things. So we came up with the idea of, why don't you, we don't want to talk about work. I'm not talking about a working walking, when you're having a meeting while you're walking. Yeah, that's good and that's healthy. That's not self-care. That's work. So work-wise, and it was like, why don't you organize a walk on a lunch hour once a week? Doesn't have to be a long walk. You can go around the block if you want. You can walk to a park. You can, whatever you want to do. Everybody has a cell phone with a camera in it, I think. Even my dad has a cell phone with a camera in it, which is a miracle. And what if you had somebody who taught you mindfulness, to lead you into a mindfulness exercise before the walk? And on the walk, what you were doing is looking for things in nature that are perhaps shaped like a heart. Okay, so you're thinking of something other than work when you're on this walk. You're thinking of finding things in nature that look like a heart. This is just, I'm throwing it out as an example because this was what I used with the employer. Then when you come back into the office, have them all download the pictures, print them up and frame them and hang them in your lunchroom. It's a visual reminder of something that they did that was mindfulness. It's a little thing that can be done, but you can turn it into a game. What other things do you guys see on there? And it's saying my internet connection is unstable. Hopefully I'm not freezing on you guys. What other things do you see on here that you could incorporate in terms of mental health and self-care? I'm curious. And how would you translate what you do into any of these activities? Anything that you can think of?
The one thing I see, Denise, oops, sorry.
Repeat the question.
Yeah. What was the question? Or how would you incorporate what you do into some of these things that are outside of work activities and interests? But we're going to go to Julie Gullickson first.
Okay, the one thing I see is the impact of what people think is motivational, and it's based on experiences. And so especially outdoor experiences. And so one thing I see is the friends and family get-togethers. Maybe there's something that company could do, or a company could do, to have an open house for family and friends to see them in their work environment during an open house event, so that they could have connect the dots between what brings them pleasure and then their daily activities, which are work.
Absolutely. Along that line of the friends and our family get-togethers, let's extrapolate from it. How about if it's a pet-friendly office, bring your pet to work day? Pets are a stress.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
I've had some friends work there where they can bring their dog, and it's exponential, the amount of positive mental and physical impact that it's had on them.
Mm-hmm. I love the one where they, the cooking, because they enjoy it. I love the fact 79% and 16.67% wanted to learn. how to cook because they enjoy it. That could be a real good mental health self-care exercise, in that cooking something healthy, learning how to cook something healthy. And you could do it at the workplace. You kind of, bring in a Coleman stove, or, the microwave even, or, eat fresh greens. And, there's another thing is, if there's space at the workplace, set up a community garden and let employees go out and tend to it during the daytime. That will definitely reduce the stress level. Well, for me, it would stress me out. But, for most people, it's not. Just because I have a black thumb, I kill things. So it's a challenge for me. But, maybe that's a good thing, is to learn properly how to do something. It could be a self-care exercise.
So Denise, one of the things that comes to my mind is several of these things might be something you would do outside, like, walking or bicycling. And so what came to my mind with that is, depending on the workplace, like, you may or may not have access to nature, but when you do, that elevates things, right?
Yep.
And so if you don't have access to nature, even if you do, I think of Wisconsin in the winter, everything's pretty dormant. I got outside every day in February, and that was my mental health. I needed it. And essential oils that I like to use a lot in the winter, or in times when I can't connect with nature, are the tree oils. So spruce, cypress, pine, all of those tree oils really help ground me, help support my mental health, and just help me just uplift my mood significantly. So incorporating those with a walk or with something outside, meditation, that would be something that would fit with, what I do.
Yeah. Excellent. I really like that idea, especially if you can't go out. And this is obviously geographical. This is Colorado. You can get outside year round. It's, and it's going to vary according to where you are. That's one of the things I like about the wellness survey that we can do, is that it is specific for that place of work, so that you can get a feel. We had another section of this that if you carved out the administrative staff, you would find that the administrative staff were really interested in crafting. No surprise, it's predominantly women. They were interested in crafting. There's a way to be able to turn that into a wellness activity to support them. I'm a reformed insurance agent. I am not a healer, but logic tells me, if you have something to look forward to that you are going to enjoy doing, that helps support your mental health and your self-care.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's something that I think is great. For the laughter yoga, absolutely, I could see learning the laughter yoga techniques, and be silly. Start your staff meeting every single month with an exercise in the laughter yoga. It's going to lighten people up. Absolutely. So that they can move on to the subjects that have to be done at hand.
They could always start a meeting with a little laughter, but not jokes. I mean, the way I teach them, and it will change their whole attitude, and people will be free to talk about things. They won't be scared to speak up.
Yeah.
And actually the mind changes and you become creative, and it's having fun. So start having fun at the workplaces and see the difference. I don't mean being funny or pointing fingers at someone. I don't mean that. This is genuine, mirthful laughter that I teach, and you can do it together or even at home alone. And right now I do it on Zoom because I don't go out right now, but you all can do it outside, inside, whatever, just in the afternoon for 10 minutes all together, or a group, just 10 minutes of your time early in the morning. Just start with a smile, just a smile. It could be fake it till you make it. So even just starting with a smile in the morning will change the brain chemistry. Wow. And scientific things have proven that you can start your day with a false smile, fake smile, and then it keeps going on and see the difference right away. This is great for your mind, for your mental health. It has helped me, and I'm the happiest person in the world right now. And that's what I want to do. I want to share with people who are hurting, who are depressed also, to
Yeah.
help them, that you can bounce back.
Yeah. You can bounce back. You know, one of you can anybody who's watching this and they're on the wellness committee, you've probably done this. You've Google searched for, you know, ideas that you can put in place into the workplace. And I did that this morning, and I found a bunch of different sites that I could go to, and I could see all these different ideas. And you know, I want to say one thing about challenges, real quick. Have any of you guys ever participated in a challenge of any type, a weight loss challenge, a walking challenge, anything like that?
No.
No, yeah, well, and you're independent business owners, so I don't see it, but they're popular in the workplace. I'm going to tell you that I'm not a fan of them. Particularly a weight loss challenge. I will never recommend a weight loss challenge. And here's the reason why. Employees tell us what they won't tell you. I'll tell you that right now. It's amazing the stuff we hear. And you know what they tell us? They feel overwhelmed. They feel stressed. They feel peer pressure. All the things that you're trying to avoid and to solve, you're creating with the challenge. Yes, 20 to 24% of your workforce will be like, oh yeah, I'll do it, not a problem. Yeah, it's 76% who do not. 76 to 80% who do not want to do it and is feeling stressed. So, you know, but that's the easy solution when you're trying to find ideas of what you can put in place in the workplaces. Oh, let's do a challenge. Let's do a weight loss challenge. Some love them. Absolutely. It's not a blanket and statement that I'm making for the most part, except to say I will never endorse one. And we do not have them here at You Define Wellness. That's not the easy way. We want to find out what will motivate the people to participate and support them in it, and bring in the experts like this to help them along the way. And yeah, so I had to put that sidebar in there because I just felt myself going the direction of challenges, and it's like, no, we're not going to do that, and recognize.
Oh, and when you said that, Denise, it made me think of all my years at corporate. And when you have those challenges, on top of all the other expectations that you're doing, it also automatically makes you feel like you're competing.
Yeah.
And if you are trying to take away the feeling of overwhelm or helplessness, that's not helping the situation, it's exacerbating it.
Mhm.
So
It's amazing
my
how many
opinion.
people go immediately to a challenge. And, you know, and I understand the reason why. You know, you're serving on a wellness committee. That's not your job. Your job is whatever it is that you were hired to do. This is just something you're volunteering to do. It's got enough stress associated with it, and coming up with the ideas of what to put into place that are new, that are innovative, that are engaging. It's a really hard thing to do. It's time consuming. You know, that's why You Define Wellness exists. That's one of the things that we do, is we take this burden off the shoulders of an employer by, number one, surveying the employees, finding out what they want to do with their, you know, outside of work activities and interests, coming up with some creative ideas and spins on each one of those, like we've talked about here. Tracy, I just loved your idea about the oils if you can't go outside. I got to tell you, that one's still resonating with me. And we put it in place for the workplace. This is what we do, so we can take that burden off of their shoulders.
Yeah, Denise, that's making me think about just status in the workplace. You know, and there's hierarchies in workplace, and then there's people who kind of naturally, you know, other people go to, and that's maybe what part of what happens with challenges is people with, you know, high status in the workplace end up being involved in them and like them. But people who don't feel as connected, you know, it feels like an additional stress. And so it just made me reflect that, yeah, if You Define Wellness can come in and support and be that third party, and that everybody's on an equal playing ground. Everybody can benefit from laughter yoga. Everybody can benefit from a kindness bank idea or essential oils. And we're doing this for all employees. We can kind of level the status for a moment and take out that who said this in the meeting and who, you know, is going to make you do something or whatever. It just sort of takes out the hierarchy and creates that collaborative nature that we really know is important for success. It's so important for success.
Yeah, well, that everybody wins. I think the thing I like a lot about You Define Wellness is they don't they're an organization that helps filter and focus on the right things and helps filter and focus on an individual level, not overview level, that everybody's unique in what they need and want and aspire to. And we all have our own unique superpower or potential that we want to help extend for everybody.
Yeah, people who laugh together stay together. So laughter has been the best solution. And in fact, I just wanted to share that my own psychiatrist, Dr. Nasser, has given a testimonial. And as a psychiatrist, I really respect him because he himself has said that laughter yoga would be a very good complementary therapy to keep your mental health strong, and you know how to face problems. You can be resilient. And the teamwork is great. When you laugh together, the teamwork is so much better. People are relaxed. Even with the bosses, people are relaxed. So I would even suggest the bosses to start a little laughter. I don't mean too much of it, appropriate time.
Well, I think the laughter, from my perspective, helps with vulnerability. And I think especially in the way with pandemic and the seek to connect with people, it makes us more relatable to each other, and that we are not perfect, you know, we're human.
It's just exercises where we try to be playful, childlike, not childish, and bring that laughter out. The child is still waiting in to come out.
You know, I had been in some jobs where I didn't really like the job, but I really liked the workplace because we had a lot of fun. And I've had other jobs where I've absolutely loved the work, but I hated the workplace. Those I didn't stay in as long. You know, you got to enjoy what you're doing. You got to feel supported. You got to feel like your employer cares about you. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're selling their widgets and their services, but at the end of the day, they know that they need you in order to have success. So that's awesome. So we're going to move into some final thoughts. And I'm going to start with Julie Gullickson. I'm going to show your contact information while you're talking. So Julie, what final thoughts do you have on this subject?
Well, I just thought about what Tanaz said, and just the impact of laughter. I found when I was the most stressful in my corporate job is when I couldn't laugh. And so that's not a good sign. And so I think that I think we're so inundated and overwhelmed and distracted that it's good to filter and focus on the simple, basic things that can be highly impactful.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice little plug there. All right, okay, I'm losing my screen here. There we go. Sorry. Final thoughts for you, my dear.
Yeah, I want to ask everyone, when was the last time you laughed heartily, really heartily, and breathing extra? I don't think the last hour or yesterday, I don't think so, but if you did, you are blessed. If you can laugh, you are blessed. So, but we have to now think of laughter as an exercise and get healthier physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, and spiritually, all together simultaneously. And it was started by Dr. Kataria from India in 1995. It's a recent thing, and people still don't know much about it in the States, but it's spread to 116 countries. And it is one of the best things. We do have challenges, which are like just a one-day thing where everyone comes to laugh, and the weirdest laughter gets the prize, or the longest laughter gets the prize. It's just fun. There's no stress. All you have to come and act crazy. And it's for a little while. It's good to feel silly and crazy, even as adults. Because laughter and play, even as adults, can give you a lot of benefit. You can survive, but never thrive without them. Never thrive without this. Play, come on.
Yeah, we love it. Love it. Tracy, final thought.
Yeah, my final thought is just that we build business backwards. We stress people out, and then we look for resources to make our businesses better, really, instead of starting with that foundation of wellness and foundation of mental health as our core, one of our core focuses in our businesses. And then what can come from that? I mean, beauty can come from that. And I'll just add a note that with essential oils and mental health support, essential oils are powerful because they go straight to your amygdala when you smell them. It's the only one of our 5 senses that goes straight to our limbic system, where our emotions are stored, our emotions and our memories and all of our mental health, you know, our things are released in there to help you to feel positive about yourself and about the day and about your job. And so just the power that we have in nature and laughter and kindness, and just thinking about that as a foundation instead of an add-on, I think is really important for anyone who's doing wellness committee work.
Sure.
That's awesome. Awesome. I get to share a little bit about who we are and what we do. At the core of what we do, we have more than 130 modalities represented in our plan. Modalities are the types of services. And I didn't know there were that many when I launched You Define Wellness 5.5 years ago, but it's amazing. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of different types of healing services, wellness services that are part of our network. And the reason behind that is because we are focusing on the individual. Our name says it all. You define wellness. We do not pass judgment on anyone as to what it is that they're doing to, you know, define wellness in their lives. If our philosophy is, if what you do reduces your stress level, that's wellness. So we focus in the workplace on access and education only. We keep it extremely simple. And if you're ever interested in learning more about You Define Wellness, I urge you to reach out to me. Highly accessible, and I would love to talk to you about what we are doing in our organization. We are unable to do these things without our sponsors. And so I want to acknowledge our sponsors. We have some who are our founding sponsors. They've been with us for a long time. They're product representatives or nonprofit organizations. We sincerely appreciate their support for all we do. And this particular episode has been sponsored by 3 of the providers in our network. We have Robert Sanders, the owner of Mental Health and Peace. He has some great tools for mental health and well-being and self-care, from emotional freedom technique and tapping and eutaptics. And so we urge you to reach out to him, learn more about him. William S. O'Malley, he is a massage therapist in Centennial, Colorado. I also happen to be married to him. And so this is my way of saying thanks for his support for all we do. And Dr. Natalie Forrest, who is a transformation mentor and works a great deal in helping with self-care and mental health in the workplace as well. And if you like this event, we have many that we do every single month. And in the workplace, we have 4 different platforms. We are doing something every single week for you to provide wellness education. And we encourage you to join us for each one of those. Every single one of them is different and will give something new to you. We also have a number of things that we do on Facebook Live every single week or month. We have activities where we broadcast live on Facebook, and then they are saved in our Facebook video library on our Facebook page. And you can always find our events by going to our website, our Facebook page, or our LinkedIn page. And if I went too fast for you, if you're watching this on video, which I'm going to assume you are, there's a wonderful little thing called a rewind button. So if I went too fast and you didn't capture their information, just rewind and pause it and take a screenshot or write down the information. With that being said, ladies, I am indebted to you. Thank you very much for helping us kick off this Wellness Committee series. We wanted to give a taste of different types of wellness ideas that can be put in place immediately in the workplace to help support the wellness committees. Your input and suggestions and ideas was invaluable to me. So thank you very much for being a part of this. And for those of you who are watching on video, thank you for joining us. We sincerely appreciate it. Check out our video library on YouTube, on Facebook, on our website. We have a ton of videos that we provide as free wellness education to help support you and uplift you as you are on your journey for healthy living. And with that being said, we hope to see you on another event that we have coming soon.